want to go ahead with that, with the encounter that you guys had.
Okay, so go ahead and hit record, and I'll start with my dad's first, and then
go ahead.
I'll go into mine. Okay. And I'm not really sure on the year this had happened, but my dad's sighting was in the late part of February, and I believe it was in 1998, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
He was working. Are we ready to go?
Yeah, go ahead. You're good. Go ahead.
Okay. He was working in South Lake Tahoe, which is about 3.5 hours from Portola, California, where we lived. So he would have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and start his commute to get to Tahoe by 7 o'clock in the morning. And as he's coming over the bridge one morning, he comes over the bridge, and the bridge separates two sides of the town. He comes over the bridge, and as he comes to the top of the bridge, his headlights go across the highway, and there's an old bank there. And he notices someone standing vaguely by the corner of the bank. And my dad, he don't have no use for anybody that does drugs or whatnot, so he thinks to himself, well, what tweaker's up at 3 o'clock in the morning? So he hits his high beams to try to mess with the individual, you know?
Yeah.
So when he hits the high beams, the first thing that he recalls is that it was all black. The individual was all black. There was no red jacket, white tennis shoes, blue jeans, nothing like that. Completely all black. And he saw the cone-shaped head and thought it might have been like a hooded jacket. So as he approached the intersection, it steps out from the bank, and then my dad realizes as it starts to walk across this 2-lane road that it's not a human being. That's way too tall, that's moving way too fast, and he begins to kind of dawn on him what it is. So, and like I said before, my dad's an avid hunter, so it kind of takes a lot to shake him, you know. So he starts counting his strides, and he counted 8 strides to cross a 2-lane road, okay? Okay. And he kind of sat there, and to the right-hand side, if you're looking at the intersection, there's this huge county map. When I say huge county map, it's probably 40 feet high by, I don't know, 30 feet wide. It's this huge map that the kids did in high school years back. It's on these 4x4 wood slats, so you can kind of see through it, right?
Okay.
So he goes, if that just happened, it's going to walk behind these kind of, you know. So he jackknifes his truck in the middle of the road, and he shines his headlights through the slats of the truck, or the slats of the map, and sure enough, he sees something going back behind there.
Yeah, gives him a kind of an idea of how tall it is and how big it is from that sign.
Right, well, I was going to touch on that because when the Bigfoot Research Foundation came out, they went ahead and had a new disposition, and they figured out all the details. And at the time, I'm 6'4", and at the time, I was probably 6'3", 250, 60 pounds. I was a junior in high school. I'm a big dude. When the Bigfoot Research Foundation came out, they had me walk from the bank across the 2-lane highway to where the map is, right? Yeah, my dad, he said he counted about 8 to 9 strides. It took me almost 19 strides to cross that road.
So you did half the strides. Yeah, geez.
Yeah, half the stride. So that's how we figured out that this animal was at least 8 feet tall.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, it had at least another 3 feet on me, you know? Or 2.5, whatnot. So, 8 to 9 feet tall. My dad said that some of the things that stuck out in his mind was it had a real thick chest, that the hands hung down almost to the knee, the cone-shaped head. And as he's describing this to, and I forget the man's name, he's drawing a picture of what my dad's describing, right? And as he draws this picture, he deems that what my dad saw very well may have been a female. based on how thick my dad kept explaining the chest was.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But it was just this astronomical thickness of the chest. Yes, well, it sounds like it could be a female. And that's the very first time that we were even heard of it. You know, never even thought that there could be a female for some reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he bust out a picture, actually a slideshow of the Patterson encounter. It shows us that it has boobs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this guy heard my dad's story over the phone, and that night drove up to Redwood City, which is about 5 hours away, dropped what he was doing, and showed up to our house around 1 o'clock in the morning.
Man.
Yeah, so, I mean, they were on it back then. So, anyways, my dad, after he diagnosed the truck and seems to go through the sleds, he goes down about 200 yards on the left-hand side there at a gas station with a payphone. So he decided he's going to pull in there, call a local sheriff, see if the sheriff can get it out with their spotlights, and maybe we can spot this thing. Okay, that's what he's thinking. Right. My dad pulls in front of the payphone, and he's too damn scared to get out of the truck. He locks the doors on the truck. He says, "Son, I sat there and my body was actually shaking. I could not force myself to get out of the pickup."
Yeah, man, I don't blame him one bit.
Right. So he goes to work that day. Okay, doesn't miss a beat. He goes to work and he tells a few cats at work what happened, and they all bust his balls. Oh, you've been drinking, you've been smoking. What kind of drugs you on? How many days you been up? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So he comes home, and I'm laying on the couch watching TV, and he walks in, and he steps in front of the TV, and I'll never forget this. He goes, "Hey, son," he goes, "I seen him." Okay? And I look at my dad, and I remember watching goosebumps go from my dad's knuckles on his hands all the way up to the side of his neck.
Mm.
And I knew what he was saying. You know what I mean? So he explains what happened to me. We go down the river. We look for tracks. Can't find nothing. It was all asphalt. This is the center of the town, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have about 2,500 people. This is dead smack center of the town. So it's like really out of the ordinary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this gentleman shows up for the Bigfoot, the BFRO, I think that's what they called themselves back then or whatnot. Yeah. And he's got all the gear, the night vision, the power lights, the casting material, all that stuff, right? So we go out that night, we're trying to look around. The cop pulls us over because we're right in the middle of town with spotlights and whatnot, looking around. The cop pulls us over. He kind of laughs at what we tell him what we're doing. He goes, "Well, all right." So we go back to the house. The next morning we wake up and we go back down to location. And this is the time period that they filmed me from the intersection across the highway to me across the 2-lane road.
Okay.
So to the left of this bank is this huge grocery store in town. Now, this grocery store has its own butcher shop and meat deli, and it has a lot of produce, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the guy asked me, he goes, "Man, is there any dumpsters around here?" So we walk down there, and we go down to the dumpster. Here's this great big, I don't know what kind of yardage the dumpster was, but anyways, it's all chained up, right? And the butcher comes out of the shop, and we're just kind of, we're not letting them know what we're doing. We're just kind of asking, "Hey, man, why got this thing so chained up?" We're just kind of joking with it. He goes, "And the damn bear's been dragging this dumpster all over this alley. Sometimes it'll end up in the parking lot." So he finally chained it up to the building. And the Bigfoot research guy kind of looks at me and looks at my dad. He goes, "Look, it's almost the dead of winter. There's snow everywhere. This animal was coming down off the mountain, sitting in that dumpster for the meat, the vegetables, whatever he can get in that thing."
Oh, yeah.
So that was his conclusion why this Bigfoot would be in this small town in the middle of the night.
Yeah, coming to that location. And that right there is not the only instance where I've heard where, a Bigfoot has actually gone to a dumpster looking for food.
Right. Now, let me kind of give you the geographics of where we're at here. The town of Portola, California, there's about 2,500 to 3,000 people there. And it is literally smack dab in the middle of the Sierra Nevadas. And there's no town within 30 miles of it. So, in any direction, 30 miles, you're in the woods. It's great deer hunting country. You could spend days on dirt roads and never hit asphalt. Mm-hmm. Okay? In fact, you can go from like Portola to Chester, Chester to Greenville, Greenville to Quincy, all on dirt roads.
Right.
Because those are the outlying towns, okay? So, I mean, it's completely rural. You know, it's as mountain as it can get. That's what Portola is, okay? So, the guy's conclusion was that my dad had a credible sighting, that it wasn't just, you know, it wasn't a hoax, that the Bigfoot was coming down out of the woods, shortage of food, and was hitting that dumpster.
Right.
So that was my dad. That was my dad's sighting.
Uh-huh.
And my dad, you know, he's not a liar. He's not a bullshitter. If he tells you something, it's usually right on the money. You know.
Right. Oh,
so
exactly.